Frozen Love is all about losing a child and the effect it has on the parent, specifically losing a child in a traumatic situation, which really any situation in which you lose your child is traumatic. But you see him going through the cemetery and still talking to his daughter as if she's there, and you get a sense that he hasn't fully accepted it, and you feel the tension between the parents when she comes over. Especially, you see these reminders all over the home. It's as if the daughter is coming back. Her clothes are still there, her toys are still all over, her paintings, her drawings. She asked him, "Why haven't you cleaned up?" And you could tell it's just he doesn't want to, because in him cleaning up the home and taking down these items, it's almost like I have to now deal with the reality of the situation. And sometimes when you lose someone, the hardest part after the funeral and after everything really is the picking up the life, picking a part of that person's life, and the packing up of their things and all of that stuff that goes with it. And sometimes it's easier just to keep it there, but at the same time, living in it can be very difficult as well. He obviously blames himself. And so once I realized that he blames himself, it made the beginning make more sense. And him holding the ice, it's almost like he's ready to, if this tragedy were to ever occur again, he's making his body ready for it. And you see this couple struggling to reconnect after losing their daughter. And it is a struggle, because it's like, this is what connected us. What connects us now that she's gone?
This is for the short film Frozen Love. This almost felt like it was based on a true story. I really wish it wasn't, or I hope it wasn't. But that just shows you how good this film was in the acting, the casting, the script, all of it, the editing, directing, shots, cinematography, location, set design, costumes, everything was really good. Casting, I thought the main actor really stood out. He had such a strong performance. Um, the guilt he was living through, trying to put himself through what his daughter went through, torturing himself. Very sad, but a strong performance and great story all the way around. So good job to everybody that was a part of this, and good luck.
What I really liked about Frozen Love is that the setting and the other details within it visually made me feel cold. I think it did a good job of that, and then it made the reveals within the story all the more sad and heartbreaking. And I think it did a great job of really using the setting and the sadness of what was happening in their lives to kind of come to a more satisfying ending. So I think it was really beautifully handled, the playing with the weather and with nature and human life in it. So I thought that was really cool how it managed to do that in a short film.
This film is called Frozen Love. This was a terrifying yet brilliant short. A man is grieving the loss of his young daughter to a car accident in the winter. The performances were incredible by the leads, and the flashback scene of the accident was very convincing, as was the staging of his apartment with all the memories of his daughter, like drawings, toys, and photos. The voice of his mother on the phone was also quite sympathetic. The direction of the piece was well done. Lots of pauses said it all. I also liked how the film ended with a resolution as the couple goes snowshoeing together. Great job.
The Frozen Love short film was so moving and touching and definitely brought a tear to my eye. Um, it was shot so beautifully. I think the setting and locations were incredible. You could instantly tell what sort of story this was going to be from the opening shots of him in the snowstorm and the car seat in the foreground and him struggling to get to it in the background. The father's pain throughout is so clear, and it's really amplified by the lighting and close-up shots of his face or him against his daughter's paintings or his daughter's belongings. And the actors really portrayed the pain of losing a child so well. I think the main actor, just his, emptiness inside was really clear, and how the lighting sort of changes as the woman comes into frame and she's trying to help him realize that this isn't his fault. He tried everything he could to get to Beatrice was really beautiful. And ultimately at the end, when they go back out into the snow together, you can sort of see the growth that he's made. He's still a long way off from forgiving himself, but it's clear that he is getting there step by step. And yeah, the dialogue was so moving, and it felt very raw and authentic and organic, and it was beautiful to watch these two characters come together and try to help each other.
Frozen Love was very emotional, and I think it was very strong. The acting was very strong, and the editing and the sound design, I really like both of those. They really came through very well. Yeah, I think overall very solid and very good short film.
The French film Frozen Love by Sebastien Begin was anxiety-inducing. It had a Nancy tone. Depending on how sensitive you are as an audience member, it could be a tearjerker. It had cold coloring that worked as a great visual effect and adding to the dreary thematic element of the whole story. It was a great watch. I really enjoyed it.
This was really sad, and it makes you think, what would you be like if you lost a child? It's an unthinkable nightmare for any parent, and for it to be put on screen for what exactly it looks like, where it shows the realistic part where a marriage can dissolve after the loss of a child, because I know that happens quite often, just because you can't get over that tragedy. And it shows two different sides. It shows mom, who's wondering where things went and is trying to move on with her life. Then it shows a dad who just possibly can't. It gives two very real different scenarios, saying, how do you overcome such a horrible tragedy and something that no parent should ever have to go through? After all, there's that saying that there's words for children who have lost a parent and words for a spouse who lost their significant other. But there are no words that describe what it feels like to lose a child. This film kind of captured that, about exactly what it means to lose a child and how it can alter your life where you just don't want to go on living. And it asks the questions that we need. That, how do you move on? Why wasn't it you instead of the child? These are all things that this film captured within the story. And then at the end, it gave a little bit of hope that maybe this couple can eventually get back together. It will take a long time and a lot of healing, but maybe they can.
All right, so I just finished watching Frozen Love, which I felt was a very harrowing and emotive and emotional piece based upon a man who lost his daughter in a car crash during the winter. There were a lot of very interesting themes with silence, loneliness. The man was surrounded by so many of the belongings and artifacts from his daughter, and it showed a lot of tragedy and pain that I think is not necessarily shown often enough. And it was trying to sort of humanize it and show how this experience can be so lonely and terrifying to go through, but that there's a possibility for some level of hope and levity as long as you have someone else. And the piece ends up ending with him and his wife going out into the snow, an environment in which took their daughter away, and trying to repurpose it and try to move not past it, but to find a way to still live through it. And I thought there was a lot of very deep ideas and messages that were really presented very strongly, mainly because of the direction and the music choices that match with the acting of the lead characters. So I thought it was a very well done, quite a profound piece, and I did enjoy it.